Hello and good morning. It is Friday. It's December 7th. Can you believe that? Good morning. This is WGTV Today, Wayne Goldsboro Television Today, and I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Kim Best. Good morning. Good morning. Fun Friday.
Oh boy, it is going to be a fun Friday. It's going to be a little warmer today, thank goodness. Chilly yesterday, my goodness. It barely got over 50 degrees.
I know, roller coaster ride. Just keep your coats in your cars.
That's right, don't go too far. But I'm telling you, today's Friday, we're going to be in the low 60s today, and tomorrow we're going to be in the 70s, and Sunday also.
Yeah, so we've had a couple weekends back to back here that have been in the 70s.
Ah, yes.
Because the Christmas parade, you know, it was absolutely perfect
It
day.
was perfect. And when we went on the trolley ride the other
Same
night,
thing.
you know, Tuesday night, the weather was just perfect. It was comfortable, not very seasonal, but still very comfortable. I've heard some people say, you know, if it's not cold and
it doesn't feel
Christmas,
like Christmas.
it doesn't feel like Christmas.
Yeah.
But hey, I love it anyway. That's okay.
It's beautiful. Well, on today's show, Wayne, we have the city manager's report. Of course, Scott Stevens will be with us today.
Great.
And he'll talk about all the exciting things happening in the city of Goldsboro. And then, of course, United Way will be on as well.
Oh, okay.
Discussing their campaign and their events and various things happening at United Way of Wayne County.
That's one of my favorite organizations. Now, Steve and all the staff there, they do a marvelous job keeping everything together. And the donations that go to United Way stay here. There's a very small percentage that's used, very small. When you compare to other organizations around the country, United Way, the bulk of that money, almost all of it stays here in Wayne County.
And touches so many lives.
It does. So many lives. So I'm looking forward to hearing about that. Today and tonight, Jingle in the Park, of course.
That's right. Tonight,
gets
4 to 8.
underway. That's right. Tonight is 4-H movie night at Wayne Center.
Oh, what movie are they showing? Do we know?
Don't know.
We don't know.
I don't know, but it'll be a movie. Also, tonight, you got your turkey shoot down at the American Legion Hut on Highway 117 South. That's just immediately south of the fairgrounds. You go past the fairgrounds on 117, then you do a U-turn and come up to the American Legion Hut there. You can't miss that. It's a lot of fun. Some great prizes, including turkeys. Yeah.
You know, that's perfect. You can save it and use it for Christmas.
It is. And, of course, the Eureka Christmas Parade coming up this Sunday. That kind of gets underway. I think it gets underway at 3 o'clock.
3? Okay.
Yeah. In Eureka, which we're talking North Carolina, not California. Eureka, North Carolina Christmas Parade on Highway 222 here in north of Fayro, if you know where Fayro is.
And then, of course, on December the 14th, the Cherry and O'Berry Christmas Parade, also at 3 p.m.
Oh, okay. That's on the 14th.
That's on the 14th.
That's a week from Friday.
That's exactly right.
All right.
So the parades keep on coming.
Outstanding. Keep on coming. Oh, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. The Goldsboro Christmas Parade was one of the largest that I have seen in many years.
I cannot believe.
Of course, I've attended that parade for years, and I was surprised by the number. Thousands of people came out to see that parade and participate in it. It was well over 100 entries.
Yeah, it was like 130 something.
Yes.
It was amazing. It was a great parade.
It was a fantastic parade.
And the people, it was a mob, but everybody was having fun. It was great.
It was just beautiful weather, and everybody was just enjoying themselves. And as I walked up and down to sort of check things out and see how people were reacting and enjoying themselves, it was just beautiful. Yeah. It was absolutely beautiful. The
lights and everything. And you know, kudos to the Goldsboro Police Department.
Oh, don't they do a fabulous job?
They were awesome. They were just awesome. Keeping
everything
crowd control
calm.
and traffic
That's
control
exactly
was just fantastic.
Yeah, and of course the Goldsboro JCs are the ones that put it on this year.
Yeah.
They hosted the Goldsboro Christmas Parade.
Yeah.
So thank you to them as well.
They do indeed, and they do a great job at that as well. All right, I'm looking forward to Scott coming in here and just, or our hearing from Scott here in just a little while.
And the setting is actually, we talked with Scott out downtown Goldsboro, right there on the 200 block of Center Street, outside by the big beautiful Christmas tree in the circle. So let's see what Scott Stevens has got to say about what's happening right in Goldsboro, North Carolina.
Hello, I'm Scott Stevens, Goldsboro City Manager. Thank you for spending a few minutes with me today. It's hard to believe it's December already. We've moved from the office, as you can tell, into a setting into our recently reopened Center Street or Streetscape project downtown. We're here for a few reasons. First, it's hard not to want to be outside when it's 70 degrees and sunny in December, and it really is nice out. Secondly, for those that have not had an opportunity to get a glimpse of our recently completed streetscape project, we thought we'd provide this opportunity to at least bring you outside, let you see some of it, and also see how we've decorated for the holiday season. It's pretty during the day. It's more, I guess, enticing at night. So I would encourage you to visit it day and night. I want to talk a little bit about our employees. We have a great group of people. We really are here to serve you. I see that day in and day out by what our employees are doing. And we spend a lot of effort with talking about our time and resources on customer service training. We want your experience with us to be pleasant. We can't always say yes to what you're asking of us, but we can always be pleasant and do it in a professional manner, and we're putting time and effort to get us there. The first thing we did in October, other than talking about this for some period of time, was put 360 of our 440 employees from all departments through 2 hours of customer service training. I think that went over very well, and the information presented there was right on. In addition, I had over 80 supervisors, department heads, my administrative support staff, those that are on the phones or talking with the public almost every day, hear from Jimmy Ford, a local motivational speaker who really talked about attitude and approach, and just spent a few minutes with them, but again, trying to drive that point home of how service to the community really is important. And finally, we have over 40 of our employees in a number of positions that work with the public, having intensive customer service training over a 3-month period where they'll spend some time in December, sometime in January, February, and then sometime in March and April having a more focused approach to customer service. My goal and the Mayor and Council's goal is to continue to make sure that your experience with us is pleasant and professional, and if it's not, please let me know. We really do have a committed group. We all can have good days and bad days, but we want to make sure that your interaction with us is good. So please, if it's not, let me know. We recently held our Lights Up downtown. What a nice event. If you weren't here this year, I hope you'll make plans to attend next year. We had a great crowd. We rededicated the downtown street that we had just opened, this Center Street project, and it was a huge success. We had trolley rides, and I don't know how late into the night those went, but they were lined up to get on the trolley rides, which will continue through the month of December. Every Tuesday night and Tuesday evening, we'll have the trolley rides. So please, if you missed them or you haven't done it, come downtown. It's really something to enjoy, and I think you would be encouraged and be excited to be here. A couple of things that have occurred in our council meetings recently. There's been a lot of debate over the last few months about our Mayor Pro Tem, or really more so in August. The council asked that we bring it back in December. And at our recent meeting, our first meeting in December, the council did select Councilman Michael Hedden to be our Mayor Pro Tem for the year 2013. So we say thank you to Councilmember Chuck Allen, who has served in the Mayor Pro Tem's role for a number of years. We look forward to working with Councilmember Michael Hedden in that role. And I think all of our mayor and council look forward to doing their best at serving the community. So anytime you have questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to contact them or us, and we'll try to get your questions and answers to your questions. In addition, you're going to hear about ethics training for our mayor or elected officials over the month of December. It is scheduled. They're doing it at a date in December. Nothing wrong or nothing has occurred other than it is a state requirement that every 4 years or following our election that our local elected officials have 2 hours of ethics training. So they are going through that. So as you hear that occurring, nothing wrong. It's just required by state law, and it's a good refresher for all of us. We had our Finance Director, Kay Scott, report to the council some good news regarding the city's fund balance in our general fund, and we're finishing our audit, and that's why she had this information from July 2011 to June of 2012, our last fiscal year. Again, that was July 2011 to June 2012. We expect to add $1.8 million to our general fund balance or the city savings account. Adding this, there's a lot of reasons why it's increasing our fund balance or savings account, but it is good news, and we wanted to share it with our elected officials as well as the community. So you'll hear more about that as our audit comes out in October or in January. In addition, a recent item we discussed with council is an offer we had on property that the city owns at John Street and Arrington Bridge Road. We own approximately 70 acres, mostly in the floodplain. 20 acres we have an offer on at $6,000 per acre, so we will advertise that and go through an upset bid process. So if you say, hey, I wish I had had a chance to buy that property, you do. The procedure for that will be listed in the paper, but you could certainly call my office and we'd be happy to make sure we work you through that process. Again, we've had an offer on 20 acres, $6,000 per acre, and you'll see that advertisement coming forward sometime in December. I want to talk about violence in the community. We've had a lot of discussions in the last 5 or 6 months about violent acts that occurred, and fortunately over the last several months it's been better, and I hope going forward it is much better. But I want to let you know the police department is continuing to work to reduce the violence in Goldsboro throughout the community. There are a number of different kinds of methods. I guess the first and maybe most visible is our community-oriented policing, of having officers out of their vehicles, walking an area as well as driving through an area, but also staying within that same zone or area for longer periods of time so they get to know the ebb and flow and what it's supposed to look like and who lives there and how they act. And that gives us a better sense of people that are right or wrong in our neighborhood as well. We have the use of a mobile command center, so as we know of activity occurring in an area, or if you see activity occurring, call us. We have a vehicle we can move there and have officers come in and out of that area, and that has been very effective over the last several months. And finally, we have the implementation of a more targeted approach towards those most likely to commit violent crime. You should have heard about this new initiative, maybe not the name, but at least that we're doing something different. And what we're calling this is Goldsboro's Partners Against Crime, or GPAC. Goldsboro Partners Against Crime, or GPAC. And I hope that will become a very familiar word to you in the coming months. This really is a partnership between law enforcement, the judicial system, and most importantly, the community. The process is identifying the people most likely to commit violent crimes in your community, calling them into a setting where you have the law enforcement, the DA's office, and the community there to say, we know what you've been doing, we're here to help you stop, we love you and we want you to stop, but if you don't stop, here's what's going to happen. You're not going to get arrested and be charged with something that will take us 18 months or 24 months to move through the judicial system. You'll move to the front of the line. You'll see a judge almost immediately, and you'll be sentenced almost immediately. Same on the law enforcement side. We can't track all 30,000 people in Goldsboro, but we can watch 10 or 15 pretty hard. And that's the basis behind this program. We set the bar so that those that are most likely to commit violent acts know that we're watching them, know what the results will be, and then offer them ways to move their life forward in other ways. And it takes the community saying that and helping out, but more and more coming on that. So if you have questions or want to be involved, please don't hesitate to call us and we will work through that. We have a number of active projects, and I don't want to take time to cover them all. I don't think they would all be of interest because we haven't maybe had activity on some of them, but I at least want to talk about the ones that I'm questioned about the most often. First, I'll start with the Air Force Museum. The Mayor and Council did have a formal presentation by our consultants at their last meeting in November. A fundraising plan is being devised. It's a very expensive project, over $8 million to refurbish the building and equip it with exhibits that would really reflect what we believe needs to happen if we were to move forward, and cost is a significant concern. So the last act of the consultant, the last part of their job, is to finalize their report, and it includes the development of a fundraising plan. I don't think this project is likely to move forward without a significant donation or securing of private funds. So that may mean the time's not right for today, but either way, if the funding becomes available and we move forward, we've got great information. If the funding doesn't become available and we choose to delay this project, we still have a lot of good information, and it has been a good process. And we want to thank all of those involved, from the volunteer committee that served, to our mayor and council, to our staff and consultants that worked through this project. Another thing I'm asked about all the time is street resurfacing. When will our street be resurfaced? And we have a lot of streets that need it. Two things I'd like to share with you. First, not all streets within the city limits are city streets. The streets that most of us are driving on, from Berkeley Boulevard to Ash to Spence to most of William Street, most of those streets are maintained by our State Department of Transportation. So maintenance of those is not under the City Council's ability. That is something that is a state responsibility. The other streets, the more neighborhood streets, and again, a lot of them are maintained by the city, and we do have a prioritized list of the condition of the street, and so we try to go based on condition, share with the mayor and council, and in this year's budget we do have over $600,000 allocated for street resurfacing. That project should go to construction in the early spring, the March time frame, and be finished by July. It will not fix every street that needs to be resurfaced, but again, it will make a dent in the needs that is out there, and you ought to see that activity in the spring. I want to talk about recreation a little bit and some of the activity there. We have a new Parks and Rec Director. I say new, he's been here a year, and Scott Bernard. He and his staff have worked very hard over the past year in developing a recreation master plan, which will be presented very soon to our mayor and council. We've had some preliminary discussions with that. But some of the ongoing projects, our Stony Creek Park, we do expect to have the construction of the bathrooms, shelters, improvements to the entranceways, and some paving of the gravel trails that are there. That should begin in December and should be completed in the January-February timeframe. We have had hundreds of volunteers throughout the years working that park, donations of property and money to support the efforts there, and we do want to thank all those involved, but I think you'll start to see a few more of the improvements to the Stony Creek Park in the coming months. At the Herman Park Center, we just demolished the old dental office, or the SHRM building, and now you have a better view of the Kiwanis train. I think it's an improvement to the park. We don't have any immediate plans for that area, but it was a building that was in pretty bad disrepair that we just thought it was time to move it out and open up the park a little bit. You should see us throughout the park facilities consolidating playgrounds within each park. So if we have a number of smaller playgrounds, for instance in Mina Well Park, you should see those combining into one. Part of the reason is to put all of this equipment into one area and to put in new engineered wood chips. Have smaller areas so we don't have as many wood chips to place, but the wood chips are required by ADA standards, or American with Disabilities Act. They cost around $100,000 to put in place. They'll last for a period of about 5 years, but they're to make it safer for our children playing in the parks. So if they were to fall from a piece of equipment, they have a more cushioned landing. So again, that is something you should see in all of our parks with playground equipment in the next few months. We've talked about our W.A. Foster relocation to Mina Well Park. The City Council did make that official. We are working on a request for proposal to hire an engineer and architectural firm to assist with the design and cost estimate work for that. We're pursuing a $500,000 grant to help with the center construction. And again, we expect the cost of this project to be in the $1.5 to $2 million range, so grant funding would certainly help with that. But it's an important project, grant funding or not, that I believe will move forward in the coming months. So you'll hear more about that. And we're also replacing our basketball court in Berkeley Park, and that will be occurring in the coming months, but funds are in the current budget to do that. A lot more activity in our parks and recreation, but again, those are some that are going on, and I hope you'll share your thoughts and ideas anytime you see a need within our parks or other facilities. In a recent council meeting, we've also awarded a flow study for our sewer system. Approximately $80,000 has been set aside or awarded to a company called Hydra Structures. They'll be installing flow monitors within our sewer collection center, our sanitary sewer collection system. They'll be putting flow monitors into 42 manholes in late December or early January to monitor how the system responds to rainfall. We have some bond proceeds left over from the annexation that occurred that needs to be spent in a good use, and we have more than plenty of needs within our sewer collection system. So again, this flow monitoring is the beginning of that, of prioritizing where the most unwanted water, the rainwater or groundwater, gets into our sewer system, and will help in directing the almost $6 million that is available for sewer line and manhole rehabilitation work. So as you see people within our manholes in the coming months, you'll at least have an idea of what we're doing and why we're there. But again, if you have questions, please call. Our streetscape project, I've heard a lot of comments on that over the last month since we opened it in early November. Heard a lot more since we've decorated it for Christmas and turned on the lights recently with our Lights Up event. We appreciate the comments, good or bad. Most of the comments that I have heard have been very positive. Other than the cost of it, people seem to be very pleased with the new look and are very pleased with the lighting up at Christmas time and how it looks at night. Again, the Mayor and Council are discussing whether we continue the next 2 blocks. We continue to be asked when we're going. Standing here a few moments ago, we had a citizen ask when we're going to do the next 2 blocks. And the response is the Mayor and Council at this time are discussing that. If we're told to move forward, the earliest I believe would be under construction is probably January 2014. We may want to be a few months earlier, but it's a pretty aggressive schedule to engineer it, design it, bid it, and finance it within a 12-month period. Just the process we have to go through takes some time. So January 2014 is a likely time that we would start the next 2 blocks if the Mayor and Council want to move forward. But now's the time to share your thoughts on that. So if you're a strong proponent or opponent, it's time to share that. I will tell you just one thing with Goldsboro downtown. I've been here a year now. I thought the downtown was vibrant and lively. There's always room for improvement, but compared to a lot of towns, we have a nice downtown. That was reaffirmed for me today when I had someone from out of town, really unsolicited, tell me how nice our downtown looked. They had driven through last night. They thought it was beautiful, and I think they're right. With the decorations and lights that we installed, it's, I guess, more impressive this time of year. We have purchased new swags for downtown. We have new wreaths on the lights that are downtown, and we have additional lights on trees this year downtown. We've moved the Christmas tree that I hope you can see behind me into the center of Center Street. We've had it in downtown before. It'll grow as the trees around us grow, but our staff has worked hard to make our downtown area look festive day or night, and I think they've succeeded in that. I would encourage everyone to come visit downtown and take a look for yourself. It really is a nice place to ride through in the evening and see the lights from end to end with the water tank lit up in the distance. Finally, I would wish everyone a safe and happy holiday season. Always remember there are plenty of those in need in our community, so help where you can with your time and gifts, most importantly your time. I do wish you a very Merry Christmas. As you have questions, comments, always our website, our office number, 580-4330, again 580-4330, or visit the website. There's a citizen request tab in the top left. That'll bring your comment right into the manager's office, and we'll get it where we need it to get a response to you. Again, and if we can be of service, please call.
And we're back on WGTV today, and Kim, here we are in the middle of the holiday season. Merry Christmas,
right.
Happy Hanukkah.
That's right, happy holidays, period.
Happy holidays to you there. You know, of course, this time of year, everybody's talking about their holiday schedule.
That's
and of
exactly
course, the
right.
city and the county are no different. We'll have our holiday schedule here in the county. And let me, if you will, go ahead and get a pencil and paper if you want to keep track of this. Otherwise, you can catch it on YouTube when we replay this later today, or when you can go to the archives on YouTube and pick it up. But the County of Wayne's office hours during the holidays are, and this, go with me here, want to mention that the state office and courts will be closed, of course, December 24th, 25th, and 26th. Now, the state office and courts will be open, or rather will be also closed January 1st, New Year's Day. So that's the 24th, 25th, 26th, and January 1st. State offices and the courts will be open December 27th and 28th. Now, the offices for County of Wayne will be closed the 24th, 25th, and 26th as well. Will be open on the 27th and closed on the 28th. So only open on Thursday that week. Most county offices, in fact, will be open on Thursday the 27th and on Monday, New Year's Eve. So Thursday and Monday, New Year's Eve. Will be closed, of course, that Friday the 28th and then January 1st. There are exceptions.
Of course there are.
And the exceptions are the Department of Social Services will be closed December 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, and 28th. That's Monday through Friday. DSS will be closed Monday through Friday of that week and on January 1st, which is Tuesday. Then the Health Department will be closed the week of Christmas and January 1st. Will be open for appointments on December 27th. They won't be open to treat anyone, but they'll be open for
just
appointments.
Just on that Thursday.
Just on the Thursday of the week of Christmas.
Wow, did you get all that?
Well, perhaps we can repeat this tomorrow.
Yes. And
or
exactly. And now let me tell you what the city of Goldsboro is doing.
What's the city going to do?
Well, the city will be closed on December 24th, 25th, and 26th,
Right.
Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Right. Okay.
We will be open on the 27th and 28th, which is Thursday and Friday of that week.
Okay.
All right?
Okay, got
then
it.
on Monday, the 30th, will also be open.
31st.
31st, sorry,
Okay.
31st.
31st, you'll be open?
Yes, and then closed on New Year's Day.
Okay. Okay. So you closed on the 24th, 25th, 26th. Open on the 27th, 28th.
Yes.
Closed Monday the 31st. Excuse me. Open Monday the 31st and then closed on the 1st.
Exactly.
Tuesday.
Yes.
Any exceptions there?
We don't have any exceptions
Oh, really?
that I'm aware of.
How did I get so lucky?
That I'm aware of. I'll be getting more details, though, and be letting you know as the days progress.
Okay.
We may
Okay.
have exceptions. We'll see.
There may be exceptions to everything,
That's right.
All right. What do we have? Oh, boy. On the 11th
Yes.
of December, which is next week.
It's next Tuesday.
Yeah, we've got a couple of speakers that's going to be in town.
Oh, that's right.
First of all, out at Wayne Community College, we've got Randy Sauls, who is really an expert in this thing, in this sort of thing. He'll be talking about two battles. One of the Battle of Fredericksburg, and secondly, he'll be talking about the Battle of Goldsboro Bridge, taking place right here in Wayne County, 1862. And this will be just before the reenactment takes place on the 15th out at
That's what I was going to say.
Battle of Goldsboro Bridge. You were going to say that?
I was going to put those two together. That's right.
Say that. Go ahead.
And it's just before, on the 15th, the reenactment of Goldsboro Battlefield Bridge, right here in Wayne County.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's coming up next week, and the reenactment is just going to be, no pun intended, but it's going to be a blast.
And that's the 15th, and that starts at 8 a.m.
Yeah, wow, that's great. I'll tell you, I love that. But Randy's going to be telling you all about that on the 11th at Wayne Community College at Moffett Auditorium. He'll also be talking about the Battle of Fredericksburg. And that same evening, Jim Greathouse is going to be at the Wayne County Museum. Right. He'll be talking about the War of 1812.
And he'll be in costume for that period, and that starts at 7 p.m.
That's right. Wow.
So a day of history.
Wow.
Right here in our community.
Lots of good stuff. We do have we live in a very historical area.
Yes, we do.
There's so much information available, and if people would just learn to look for it, you'll find how interesting it really is.
And we're going to visit a lot of these locations here on the show.
Oh boy.
And go out and showcase a lot of things that are happening right here in our community and things that we have to be proud of and that we should showcase.
We certainly should. We certainly should.
And a lot of these places, you can go to the Wayne County Museum and they'll have information there as well on all of our local historic places.
Yeah. Okay, let's see what else we have here. We've got, oh boy, what do you have to talk about there?
Let's see, we have, Black History Parade. Applications are available for the Unity Organization's 5th Annual Black History Parade, which is Saturday. It's not going to be until February 28th, and that's in Mount Olive. So if you're interested in participating in Black History Month celebration, the lineup will begin at 11:30 a.m. on Henderson Street by Mount Olive College. The parade will step off at 1 o'clock, and the route will start in the parking lot of the Mount Olive Center Shopping Center. Okay, that is in February 28th. So you have a long period of time to turn in your applications.
Okay, that's
I remember them doing that last year.
Yeah, that's on Highway 55 there, Mount Olive Shopping Center.
Yes, it certainly is. And I'm sure that's in celebration of Martin Luther King and of course all of just the Black History Month in general.
Exactly, Black History Month in February. So now's the time to apply.
That's exactly right.
And then in February you're ready. Right?
That's right. That's right.
Well, let's see. Speaking of things and months and dates and all that sort of thing, December 7th, a date that will live in infamy. This is the day back in 1941 when Pearl Harbor was attacked, and it set us off at that time. In fact, that's the last time that war was declared by the United States.
The last time.
That was the last time officially war was declared by the U.S. World War II. In the Pacific, the Japanese, of course, and then in Germany, World War II, shortly after that, in fact. But Pearl Harbor Day today, December 7th, and today is also International Civil Aviation Day. It's also, well, again, National Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day, which will be a remembrance and an observance in Hawaii today. Let's see what else we have here. More stuff to talk about.
Well, I believe next week you're going to see our very first segment of the Kids Spotlight.
Is that coming up?
It is.
Oh,
we've talked with one of our youth that have come into the studio to tell us all about things they've done in the community, why they've done it, where they've done it, and I think you will be surprised. We have a lot of great youth in our community, and we're going to be showcasing them on a regular basis, and next week will be our first one.
And you know, the response to this has just been outstanding.
Has it not been overwhelming?
Tremendous response, yeah.
That shows you how many fantastic young people we have in our community, that teachers and instructors all across our community want to tell the good things they've done.
And do you know if we can we still receive?
Oh, absolutely. You keep sending them in. Yeah. If you're an instructor and you have a youth between the ages of 6 and 18 that have done great things in one of the 4 categories, you can go to our website, actually. You can go to WGTV at waynegov.com.
Right. Since you can go to waynegov.com. And then on there is a link to the application.
There you go.
From there, you will submit that application to WGTV at waynegov.com. Now, in the very first few days of this, I'll get it out in a minute. In the first few days of this, there was information that was sent to us about some of the applicants, and we did not get all the information we needed.
That's right. There was no email, and there was no cell phone number or any kind of phone number. So we didn't have a way to contact those first few that sent their applications in. Actually, that was the first 2 weeks or so.
Right. So if you submitted an application at that time, and you have not received word otherwise by mail or snail mail or whatever,
that is why.
Resubmit.
That's resubmit and make sure you include an email and a phone number. We have to have a way to contact the instructor to let them know whether the child has been accepted or not.
That's exactly right. Well, the Watch Mobile Medical Unit, that's the Wayne Action Teams for Community Health van, the mobile van, that big blue and white truck, scheduled to be at several places. Will be on the pad just at the end of Cox Boulevard, which is adjacent to Wayne Memorial Hospital, from 2 until 4 p.m. Thursday. Oh, that was yesterday. No, that was yesterday.
Was it? Okay.
Well, if you went, that's great. Thank you very much. If you didn't go, you missed it.
That's right. And the Watchmobile is all over our community.
It's all over the community. And let's see, today, here you go, today on the same location from 9 until 3 p.m.
And where's that? Where will it be?
That's at the same location. You take Wayne Memorial Drive, you go just past the hospital and take a right.
Okay.
That's Cox Boulevard. At the end of that, on the pad, that's their home base. And if you have any question about Watch, the Wayne Action Teams for Community Health, you can call them at 222-4450 to make an appointment or to get information if they can work you in. You know, that is one of the busiest operations, no pun intended, of any sort of thing going on in Wayne County. The Watch Mobile Medical Unit is such an asset to our community. They do a tremendous job there in making sure that we keep good health here in the Wayne County area. And for people that can't afford it, all you need is to be a resident of Wayne County and have no Medicaid or Medicare or insurance of any kind, and they can help you. If you need medical help, they can help you. All right?
Well, there's also an Alzheimer's support group, Wayne, that is offered right here in our community, and that's for families. It's for families that are taking care of loved ones that have Alzheimer's. And if you would like information about the Alzheimer's support group, you can call 759-2269. That's Ann at 759-2269. Of course, that's area code 919. That's more information on the Alzheimer's support group right here in Goldsboro.
All right. Well, let's see what's coming up next here.
I believe we have United Way.
United Way.
That's exactly right. So stay tuned and let's see what they say at United Way of Wayne County.
Today we're talking with Steve PARR, Director of United Way of Wayne County. Exactly. Okay.
That'll work.
And we're talking with Karen Schneider, who's the Associate Director for United Way of Wayne County. And thank you for being with us. Steve, tell us about United Way. What is going on? Well, first of all, a little background. You don't have to go as far back as the community chest.
I don't want to do that.
Okay, but
my memory doesn't go that far.
Let
me go back 2 years, 3 years.
Okay, good.
We took on an initiative. We had done a community needs assessment, and we identified what are really the issues in Wayne County, and we've looked at those, and we transitioned over the last 3 years to get away from what we used to do and the business model that we had to a model now that is focused on community impact. Of looking at, it goes beyond saying it's nice to have a place for kids to go after school. But how does that impact them 2 years from now, 5 years from now? How does that keep a young person out of a gang? So what you do, tell us how that impacts this issue in our community. Before we would be satisfied with just saying, hey, that's great, these kids are here and they're learning things. But how does that apply to keeping them on the straight line? How do we impact things like that? When you look at kids, the young kids wanting to, did they join a gang? Well, we were now the new United Way. We are partnered with the Boys and Girls Club and the Boy Scouts. Boy Scouts came to us and said, we would like to establish a Cub Pack at the Boys and Girls Club. Wow, thinking outside the box. That's what it's all about. a lot of those kids, not saying that all those kids, but there are probably kids over there that could really benefit from all the things that are instilled in young boys in the Cub Scouts and the Boy Scouts.
Right.
So let's do this. How do we do this? End result's going to be they're not joining gangs. You know, look at this, the impact that it's going to have of a person who has a weight issue. How do we help them deal with that, and then at the end of that, the success that they would have in losing weight, how that impacts other health issues that they may have, diabetes, we read about that, but also on the job. You know, are they more productive? You know, we are embarking on a new initiative for adult financial stability. You know, there's no program in Wayne County right now that deals with adult financial literacy. You know, there's 10% of residents in Wayne County don't even have bank accounts.
Really?
You know,
That's a surprisingly high number.
It is, but 22% may have a bank account, but they're still using payday lenders and things of this sort because they don't have credit. When you think about the impact of that type of a program could have potentially on a woman who is at the shelter, the battered women's shelter.
Yeah.
You know, one thing about domestic violence is they're dependent, the dependency issue. Well, if you don't have credit and you don't have these financial skills, how could you get out on your own? There is the bigger impact that you do something today, what is it? You teach a person to fish instead of just keep handing them a fish. That's kind of what we're doing.
You know, Steve, what I'm hearing is more, it's not all about raising as much money as you can. It's what you're doing with the money and how it's going to benefit those that you're helping.
And to do that, we establish budgets that we look at every year, and we say, okay, in this area, what would we want to be able to invest in a particular program? And then go back to the community and say, here's the budget. It's not a campaign fundraising goal. It's a budget that we need from the community to provide the needed revenue to implement all of these different programs in these focus areas. To kind of give you a better understanding of what those focus areas are, I've asked Karen to come by and to talk a little bit about what our 4 focus areas are and how does that differ from when we didn't have them, you know, the old United Way.
Right. Well, Karen, explain that to me. How do those focus areas work and what are they?
Well, years ago when United Way did the community assessment, we really tried to figure out where we would have the most impact. And rather than just spread ourselves out too thin, we looked at those areas that really needed some help. And by trying to hone in on specific areas and goals, we could try to collectively work with our partners and make a greater impact for the community. Okay. So the 4 focus areas are education, and the goals within that are not only making sure students, children are prepared for school, but also making them prepared to graduate and go on and be successful citizens within the community. We've got community responsiveness, and of course that's targeting basic needs of people, those in crisis, those that need additional assistance. The other is health and wellness, and our areas of focus there are obesity prevention, teen pregnancy prevention, strengthening families, helping folks make better decisions, better life decisions and healths. Financial stability, we have a few areas there. Adult financial literacy, helping people keep more of their own money, help people become more educated about the tools and resources that are out there. And so by looking at all of these different focus areas and how our community partners fit into those areas and help align toward those goals, then we all collectively are working together to really push push ourselves further and create some true impact out there.
Wow, this is, I see how far we have come, and this moving along. It really is moving along.
And we're not going to sit back, let's say, and wait for people to respond to an RFP, request for proposal. And that's what we do. You know, we issue requests, say these are the things we want to see happen in Wayne County. Who out there? Doesn't matter who it is. If it's a nonprofit we'll look at that and say, hey, are they doing the job that would fill this gap? If no one responds, we are now taking initiatives to say, well, what can we do to create this? And we're doing that right now with a financial literacy program. We're going to model it after a national model called Bank On, and it involves a lot of educational curriculum from the FDIC, but it also will teach people to, how do you make a budget? How do you do these things, as Karen said, to keep a lot of your own money? Right. In a person's lifetime, without having a bank account, they'll spend over $40,000 just to cash their paychecks.
Oh my.
And how do you go out, how do you going to instill in somebody to be able to go out and buy a car, go out and buy a house? You don't have credit.
Yeah.
So we are in the process. And Karen will come back and talk more about that later on.
Good.
About how that is going to come about and what's the impact going to be as we develop this, but it's in its early stages. But to do all this, let's not think that it just runs by itself.
Yeah.
We can only do this if the community supports what we're doing. And that's why we're out there now trying to raise $1,234,000.
Wow, and it's been a tough year.
It's an extremely difficult year.
Yeah.
We've seen right now of employee campaigns that have completed. Their numbers are down almost $56,000 from last year.
My goodness.
And when you look at 70% of what is raised comes from those groups, you know that the economy is having a big impact on people. And a lot of what's going on outside of the community, people are listening and a lot of people are scared. Our projection is that we're not going to hit the 1,200,000. We need to hit the 1,200,000 in order to do these things. So we're asking also for our neighbors in Wayne County to, if you've already had the opportunity and thinking about it, please support what we're doing and send in a pledge. Go back to your HR director, make that pledge, because let's not get into a mindset that, well, someone else is going to do it. Let's do it, because the money is, what we're doing is for Wayne County.
You're doing this for Wayne County.
Yeah.
The money stays here, and I've seen financial statements, not financial statements, but I've seen financial information from other organizations. And these organizations raise a lot of money, and they keep a lot of money for operating.
And a lot of it doesn't stay here.
And a lot of it doesn't stay here. And in fact, I'm speaking nationally now. There is a national United Way, but we're talking about United Way of Wayne County. Now, this is a Wayne County organization. The money stays here in Wayne County and benefits Wayne County citizens. So I will strongly, and I mean strongly, encourage you to go to your HR director and talk to that person about what you have to do to be able to help United Way of Wayne County.
And we're all in this together.
Sure.
As you said, the money stays here. We've had individuals, hear about where we are with the campaign. We've had people come back and say, here's an additional contribution, because it's that important to the community. So we're going to continue to do what we do through the end of the year, into January if we have to. We're going to conclude our Fair Share Challenge on December the 19th. Mm-hmm. That's exciting for us.
That's it, right?
And that's kind of a checkpoint for us. And we'll have some exciting announcements from some of our friends at Fremont Motors for what we anticipate for next year. So
wonderful.
Things are shaping up, but we need the support of the community for us to be able to do all these things that impact all these people in our community.
Chances are all the other counties in North Carolina are not going to give to United Way of Wayne County. So we have to help ourselves here. And the way we help ourselves is by talking to Karen and talking to Steve and talking to your HR director about giving to United Way. It's that simple.
Make an investment.
It's an investment. That's right.
Exactly. And all of us, we're United Wayne.
Yes, we are. We are United Wayne County.
That's it.
And Karen, I want you to come back and talk to us more
I
about
will.
how things are going, changes, updates, upgrades, updates, and about what's going on with United Wayne.
Thank you. I would like that.
Karen Schneider is the Associate Director of United Way of Wayne County, and oh, what's his name here?
That's right.
Steve PARR, my friend for many years.
That's right.
And I appreciate what you do. And if you have any questions at all, as I recall, that number is 735-3591.
Correct.
Great
All
memory.
right, all right. 735-919, right?
919.
Gotta make sure it's 919. 735
3591.
91.
Or on the web.
On the web.
At UnitedWayne.org.
UnitedWayne.org. Please give, and I thank you very much.
Thank you.
Right.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karen.
Back. Learned so much about United Way, but I am glad, Wayne, to hear that they are continuing to keep the doors open and allow contributions to be coming on through the month of December for United Way.
Of course, Steve PARR is my good friend, and United Way has just done such a great job and helped so many people over the last several years that
You're right.
You never know when you're going to be in that position where you may need help, and United Way collects money and donations, and then that money is spread throughout several different agencies. The deadline has been extended, so you do have an opportunity to give, and you have to keep in mind where this money is going. It's staying right here in Wayne County.
That's
it's helping
exactly
your
right.
neighbors, and you know, 1 out of 5 people receive help.
In our community.
In our community, 1 out of 5 receive help indirectly from United Way of Wayne County.
And many of the organizations that have been on this show are organizations that benefit from United Way. They support them, and they support them year after year. And we appreciate what they do.
And kind of keeping in mind as a side note, this is not the most important thing. The most important thing is that you're giving and people are receiving help with your
That's
donation.
exactly right.
But it's also a big help to you, could be a big help to you tax-wise at the end of the year.
True.
Your tax-deductible donation given to United Way is to your tax advantage.
That's right. And like we were talking about earlier, it's a great holiday gift. Give in the name of one of your friends or family or loved ones.
Exactly right.
You know, that's a great thing you can do, and it benefits not only the community, but it benefits these organizations and youth and people right here locally that get the funds from United Way, and we appreciate what they do.
Well, let's see. Now, today's December 7th, and
That's
that means
exactly right.
tomorrow is...
December 8th.
Oh, yeah, December 8th. But on today's almanac, there's some things I didn't cover earlier. I wanted to get kind of out of the way here. Today is the anniversary of Electrolux Cervell. It's a patented item from Electrolux, 1926. It's the first household refrigerator. One of my favorite places to be in the house, but the first one was patented this day, 1926. It was powered by natural gas.
Really?
Prior to
Natural gas?
that, yeah, natural gas.
Interesting.
Prior to that, they all used the icebox.
Yes, of course.
The old icebox. Anyway, this day, 1941, one of my favorite documentaries was about this particular radio station, WKRP in Cincinnati. And
Oh,
yes. Everybody thought it was a comedy. It was not a comedy. These things really happened. The turkey drop and all that stuff. Those things really happened. That's why I call it a documentary. WKRP in Cincinnati went on, quote unquote, went on the air.
It was an interesting show, though.
Didn't really, but it was very interesting. Went on the air December 7th, 1941. And that set the stage for the whole thing.
Oh, yes.
All right. Also on this day, Dr. Ronald Alcana of the University of California at Irvine set the world record banana eating contest by downing 17 4.5-ounce bananas in 2 minutes. 2 minutes. And singer Jerry Scoggins passed away at the age of 93. Who was Jerry Scoggins? Everybody who was alive in the early 70s or early 60s heard Jerry Scoggins sing a now very famous song.
What is it?
Jerry Scoggins is the guy that said, "Come and listen to my story about a man named Jed."
Poor
That was
mountaineer,
Jerry Scoggins.
yeah.
He wrote it and sang it.
Beverly Hillbillies.
That's right. The Ballad of Jed Clampett.
That's right.
Birthdays today include Priscilla Barnes. She was on that show with John Ritter about the 3 who lived in an apartment.
Three's Company.
Three's Company. I'm glad you did that because there you go. Anyway, Three's Company, Priscilla Barnes. She's also done other things. Larry Bird, the basketball star, is 56 today, and Johnny Bench, Cincinnati Reds catcher, 65 years today. He's not catching anymore, though. But that's it. That's the almanac for today. Who's on tomorrow's program?
Well, don't forget, Jingle in the Park tonight.
Jingle in the Park tonight.
Join us tonight from 4 to 8 at Jingle in the Park, Herndon Park. But on tomorrow's show, part 2 of Shop Local, the trolley ride where we went downtown Goldsboro.
That was fun.
And went around and enjoyed our downtown Goldsboro.
That was fun.
Pet of the Week, of course.
Pet of the Week.
Pet of the Week will be on. That's right.
Oh, boy.
So we have about 4 different segments, 3 or 4 segments tomorrow.
Oh, boy.
That's right. So stay tuned.
Yeah.
We have lots going on. We want to make sure you remember Jingle in the Park tonight. All kinds of activities happening at parades here, there, and everywhere. We've told you all about them throughout the show. Stay tuned, right, Wayne?
That's right. Join us every morning at 7 o'clock here on WGTV today. Until 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Kim Best. This is what's happening in your community.